Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Discovering 615. Your host, Rob Thacker, has got something special lined up for you today. On today's episode, he is joined by the lovely, talented, and fast-rising country artist, Blair Lindsey. So grab a drink, kick back, and let's dive into the heart of country music. Let's get to it.
Man, I couldn't have said that better myself. This song, One More Ride, is destined to be on the next country music radio chart. Written and performed by Blair Lindsey, who we are glad to have in studio with us today. Hey Blair, how are you doing?
Doing great, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
We're glad to have you. So give me a little bit of your background. You came from Vegas. How did you end up in Nashville? Give us a little bit about that story.
So, being born and raised in Vegas, I have lived in other states, but I always ended up going back to Vegas. But one of the states I lived in was in Florida. I lived there in the early 2000s for about 5, almost 6 years. And that's where I started my professional music career on the professional level. And I would get demos from Nashville. So in the early 2000s, I would come back and forth to Nashville. Well, back and forth being Nashville to Florida. And I put together a band when I was in Florida, and we would tour around, opening for several national artists. Mark Wills was my very first one. And I would do festivals, rodeos, sing in bars, state fairs, all of that. And just in the process of it all, coming back and forth, I fell in love with Nashville. I love Tennessee, the scenery, the seasons, the people, the food's great, just everything about it. And I just kind of knew I would always end up living here in Nashville. One way or another, God was going to put me here. Right. And then I ended up moving back to Vegas when all those hurricanes happened. I said, nah, this isn't for me. I'm going to move back to Vegas where it's a little less natural disasters. But long story short, I'm here now, but I do still go back and forth about every month or every other month. My producer, Frankie Marino, who has a residency out there, he's also a recording, performing artist. He's amazing. He tours a lot across the globe, actually, and he's my producer, and he is just phenomenal. So although I've connected with some producers and engineers out here, I just have such a great chemistry with Frankie. We've been friends for about 25 years now. And so he gets me. He actually used to live here in Nashville, and he used to perform down on Broadway, like at Legends and Tootsies and stuff, way back in the day. And so he gets my style. He has a very Elvis country blues style personally for his own music and performances. So I do go back and forth, but yeah, long story short, I am a Vegas girl now living in Nashville. So maybe I got the Nash Vegas down.
There you go.
Nash Vegas.
Nash Vegas. There you go.
Nash.
There you go.
Yeah,
Nash Vegas. I love that.
It.
We're glad to have you. Nashville's better for it that you're here, and you and your family.
Oh,
So you describe yourself country and blues. What kind of got you into that? Do you have some artists that you really admired growing up or in the music industry?
Yeah. So my dad, he was, in my opinion, a true grit cowboy. We had horses and a little mini farm growing up. And so it was just automatic that I would listen to country radio and country music. And I grew up listening to Tanya Tucker. Reba McEntire is my all-time favorite artist. Okay. And forever will be. Yeah. Brooks and Dunn, like the Forrester Sisters, the Judds. So all of that. But I also really, really love Aretha Franklin and Etta James and Elvis Presley even. I mean, who doesn't love Elvis? But so it brought in the blues. And when I sing, it's just, I can go very, very low. And so that bluesy, and I just find it really soulful, and it hits right to the heart when they sing, and they got that rasp and that blues. You just really feel it. And so that's kind of where my style came from.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I enjoy listening to all your singles, and you've got five out
now. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about those, each one of those.
Okay. So let's see if I get them in the correct order. So One More Ride is my recent one. Right. Too Late to Change My Mind was my first one. And I write kind of like sassy lyrics. I think it's fun. Mm-hmm. I think in country music, it's always the man pursuing the girl in the bar, and, like a Jason Aldean song, she's a long-legged tan Juliet or something like that, Right. So I like spinning it a little. And so Too Late to Change My Mind was about that. A guy comes into a bar, and the woman's thinking, dang, he's good looking. And this might be a mistake, but it's too soon to know better. And I'm going to take him, and he's going to be mine. And so it's too late to change my mind. So there's that one. And then My Party is just about a relationship. I think we've all had those relationships where you kind of know it's a dead end road. You keep running into that brick wall, but you have this chemistry pulling you back and forth. So that's what that song's about, is just... she runs into this guy that she's had this relationship with. They both know it's a dead end road, but now she's in a different place. She has her family or husband or boyfriend or somebody she's committed to. And so her party's already started, and it's not with this guy anymore. South of Anywhere kind of became an anthem for the time in my life. But that one's just about this couple, probably married, and they're going through something, and he has his vice. And no matter what she does, she can't love him hard enough to have him give it up. And so she says, I'm going to go somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to go. So I'm going to just go south of anywhere. And then No Dice is my favorite still. I love that one. Again, with the sassy lyrics. This guy walks in. He thinks he's really got it. He's a cat's meow. And she says, you're not my type. You're a bad idea on ice, and no dice. And I came up with that because my dad used to always say to me, no dice, babe. And that just meant there was no wiggle room for a debate, a discussion. It was just a flat out no. So that one, I actually wrote the song based off of the title because I just really wanted a title, No Dice. And then my recent one, One More Ride, I wrote for my father who passed away in 2016. And I released it on March 4th, which was the 9-year anniversary of his passing. And so I just wrote it to the best of my capability to describe him a little bit. I feel like when you're writing a song that special, you can never really find all the right words, but yeah, so that's it in a nutshell.
It was a beautiful ballad. I guess it's a ballad format.
Yeah, ballad, yeah.
So it's beautiful
Thank
song.
you.
I've listened to that a couple times as
Thank
well. So
you.
it's beautiful.
Thank you.
So what have been some of the challenges that you've faced, successes and challenges that you've faced from moving from Vegas to Nashville and then in the music industry that you found?
Moving from Vegas to here, there hasn't really been any challenges per se. I feel like everybody here is so welcoming and so kind. I've met some amazing songwriters, so many talented musicians, and artists all together. And I just love it in that sense. The only big challenge that I face now is when I did all this in the early 2000s, now we're talking 20 years ago, you got a manila envelope, your demo CD, a photo, and a business card with your website and your info on it, and you popped it in the mail, and then you would get bookings. Now everything is based off of social media. You got to make those reels. You got to do those posts. You got to keep the consistent content going. So that's been a challenge for me with reintroducing myself to the music industry. Now I guess I took about a 15-year hiatus.
Okay.
and yeah, that break, everything changed so significantly. So that's been a little bit of the challenge for me of breaking back in, is just keeping things consistent.
Right.
I need to do better.
Right.
I need to do better at that. I tell myself that every day.
And that's so true, because with the entrepreneurial, the free market, I mean, Instagram gives you free branding. So the more consistent you are.
Yes. Then the better it is, the more known you go.
As a friend of mine says, consistency is undefeated.
Yes.
But what are you consistently doing?
Yeah.
It becomes the question, right?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what I'm consistently doing, and it's not my Instagram, and I need to change that. Yeah. So that's been my challenge, but that's a challenge that could have been if I were still in Vegas or here.
Right.
But I just think here, it's just, the opportunities are just everywhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what do you like to do when you're not performing music or working on an album, or what else do you like to do in your free time?
My kids are my world. So with them, and then I just really enjoy, I love getting out and experiencing new places. And being born and raised in Vegas, I used to have to leave Vegas to get to experience new places. Here it's nice. I can go on a drive and 90% of the time get lost along the way and just enjoy the scenery. I love working out. Writing it's my outlet. So I find myself writing a lot, and really just being new here. About 1.5 years I've been here now. Just trying to still get my footing and find my place has been really enjoyable. I want to see what I can bring here that Nashville doesn't have, that Vegas has, or something like that. And so just kind of seeing, I don't know, I feel like there's just a whole new opportunity here in every sense of it, not just musically, but lifestyle, business opportunities, everything. So that's kind of, I keep myself really busy doing that stuff.
That's great. That's great. So let's come back to a little bit in terms of the community. You've talked about the country community, you've talked about some of the producers you work with and things of that nature. How has that been in terms of accepting to you and involvement with that?
I mean, I would say it's been very positive. The Writers Rounds has really introduced me to a lot of people. There's quite a few rounds that have been in connection with me to get me up there on the stage. I've only done a couple of Writers Rounds and then done one show out in Franklin at Country Boy Restaurant downstairs in their tornado room. And that was really fun. They've invited me to come back also. So I would say, just everything has just been really welcoming and really opening. And I just realized it's such a tight niche that you start recognizing people's names and knowing who people are. The circle, although it's very large, it's very small. And everybody's just so helpful and looking out for each other. So, yeah.
That's great. So let me follow up with that then, because you're talking about the country music industry. So then, and with the number of country music artists, how do you, Blair, separate yourself from the rest of the pack then, so to speak, in the country music in terms of...
That's a good question. I think what would separate me aside is more my style. I haven't heard a whole lot of the country bluesy style. And like I said, I really, really love the blues. So I feel like style-wise, that would be it. That, and then I don't know, I'm a Vegas girl. People think we're like a unicorn or something. So if I can use that to my advantage, I will.
Your music is definitely different, because when I first heard it and started listening, I thought, I gotta listen to this. I gotta listen to Blair a little bit more. I thought, wow, this is totally different. This is unique in terms of the style, the way you bring that blues into the country music. So it's like I said, you're on my country road trip on Spotify.
Oh, I love it.
So that's
Thank you.
But yeah, definitely. And so along that lines, then what do you want your fans to experience then? What do you want them to come away with when they hear you perform and things of that nature? When they go to your concert or you're, like you said, you're in the tornado room and they're hearing you, what kind of experience do you want your fans to have then?
I mean, I would love them to have fun, to feel the music. I hope my music makes people want to dance, or if it's a ballad, that they feel it and they can relate to it. I think with my lyrics being a little sassy, I hope it makes the girls feel a little sassy themselves. I really just mostly would love people to feel my music. There's something about that harmonica that's in a lot of my songs, and I have a couple more in the arsenal to release that have some more mean harmonica in there, and I just feel like it hits you. And so I would just love them to feel what I feel when I'm recording, when I'm writing, the vision I have for it. That would be amazing.
That's great. So along those lines, then you kind of went into one of the other questions too, is what, in terms of future, are you allowed to talk about what's coming down the road here?
Oh, so I do have a couple of ballads that are locked away, but I don't know. I kind of like the feel good, give you kind of an attitude style. So I'll release another ballad or two down the road, but one that I have that I think I'm going to release next, which I won't unveil too much, it's definitely another very bluesy one.
Oh, nice.
Bluesy, yeah, upbeat one. So I'm excited to release that one. I was actually listening to it in the car yesterday thinking, oh my goodness, I just released One More Ride, but now I'm really excited to release this one.
That's great.
So it's fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So then what about people who are trying to get into this industry? Do you have any advice for people who are aspiring into the music world, especially in Nashville?
Well, in Nashville, I don't know. I feel like in Nashville, I'm asking them all the questions,
right.
But I would say anybody trying to get into the music world, I would just say, just do it, and do it more consistently on your social media than I do. But just go with it. If your style isn't exactly what's on the charts right now, because my style certainly isn't what's mostly popular right now, just do what you feel and stay true to it. Everything comes full circle, right? Bell bottoms go out of style, they come back. Same sort of thing with music. And I think the 90s country is coming back. So just that being said, whatever somebody embraces as their personal individual style, release it, feel it, write it, and just do it. Just dive headfirst in. Don't put your toe in. Don't be apprehensive. Just go for it.
Go for it.
Be real.
That's so. Be yourself. Be real.
Yeah.
That's so wise.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think that's like what you're going to find will separate you from everybody else, right? So even if you're not somebody's cup of tea, what is it? You are somebody's shot of whiskey.
There you go. There you go. That's great. That's awesome. I love that. That's great. I'm going to have to tuck that one away. Use that. That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So where can people find you in terms of websites, Instagram, social media?
Social media, my Instagram handle is Blair Lindsey Music. And that, as of right now, is where you can find me.
Okay.
Unless you're downtown on Broadway and you happen to see me out and about or whatnot. But social media is my main outlet right now.
Do you have any places where you're up and coming performances that you could be singing anywhere soon?
Yeah, so I have been talking with a round called Rebel Rouser, and so they've sent me a lot of dates, and I will keep everybody updated on that. And then I would like to get back to the Tornado Room and maybe out to Fox and Logs. I just love that area down there in downtown Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a vibe, and so, but I will keep everybody up to date on that.
And again, they can go to Blair Lindsey Music,
Music.
On Instagram to find those dates and everything.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Blair, it's been a pleasure to have you on Discovering 615. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We're going to leave you with another of Blair's top hits, No Dice. Take care. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So how about this?